Um, what if I told you that your disastrously messy bedroom isn't actually a sign that you're lazy?
Right, which is what we always assume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if I told you it's actually mathematical proof that the universe is functioning exactly as it should?
I think a lot of people are going to want to hear this.
Oh, absolutely. So I want you to picture the scenario, right? You are standing in the doorway of your home office, or maybe you're just staring down at your smartphone screen.
Oh, the phone screen is a classic one.
Yeah, and what you are looking at is just a total disaster. Clothes are draped over literally every conceivable surface. Papers are stacked in these precarious leaning towers of doom.
Or your phone's home screen is just a chaotic wasteland of unsorted apps and 100-gigabyte photo folders.
Yes, you stand there looking at the mess, and you feel that familiar, heavy sinking feeling in your chest.
That nagging voice whispering that you should, really have your life together better than this.
Well, the mission of today's deep dive is to completely absolve you of that guilt.
And we are going to do it using the fundamental, unbreakable laws of physics.
We're pulling from an incredibly fascinating excerpt today from a piece called Entropy, the Thermodynamics of Cosmic Chaos. We're specifically looking at a section that bridges the gap between everyday thermodynamics and cosmic messiness.
It is a really brilliant source text because it tackles what is arguably the most misunderstood concept in all of science.
Entropy, it is the boss-level concept of thermodynamics.
It really is.
You hear the word thrown around in sci-fi movies or casually at dinner parties with people trying to sound smart, but it almost always comes wrapped in this impenetrable layer of academic intimidation.
Right, and my role today is to look past those dense math equations. We're going to strip away the academic jargon and synthesize exactly what this inescapable cosmic rule actually means for your daily life.
Because the physics of the universe actually has a surprising amount to say about your laundry pile.
It really does.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if you look up entropy in a standard dictionary, or you ask a casual science fan, you almost always get a one-word answer.
Disorder.
Right, or messiness. That is the common definition we have all been fed, right? And entropy just means things get messy.
But if we stop the definition there, at just messiness, the logic actually starts to break down the second we apply it to our own lives.
I have to play devil's advocate here. If entropy simply means messiness, and the universe demands that entropy must always increase, then what happens when I actually manage to clean my room?
Right.
Am I actively decreasing the entropy of the universe? Does folding my laundry make me a literal wizard manipulating the fabric of reality? Because I have to admit, I do not feel like a wizard when I'm matching socks. I just feel incredibly bored.
You are, sadly, not a wizard. And that reveals why we really need to look at what the source says about the true identity of entropy.
Yeah, the text makes it incredibly clear that the secret identity of entropy isn't actually messiness at all.
No, it is strictly about probability theory. It's a measure of the number of cases or the combinations that can create a specific state.
This is where the source drops a nugget of insight that completely reframes how we look at the physical world.
It's a total paradigm shift.
When you do manage to clean your room and everything is in its perfect designated spot, the books are aligned, the floor is clear, the socks are matched, that tidy state is actually a mathematical miracle.
It is essentially a one pattern. There is exactly one way for your room to be perfectly organized.
But there are millions, possibly billions of ways for it to be messy.
Exactly. A shirt could be on the chair, on the floor, under the bed, hanging halfway out of a drawer.
Messiness is simply the mathematically most probable outcome.
It is entirely a numbers game. And to visualize the math, the source offers this really striking analogy. Picture a massive stadium concert.
Oh, this is a great visual.
Before the gates open, you have thousands of fans lined up outside in a single file line.
A highly structured, tidy state.
Right. From a physics perspective, this is a state of extremely low entropy. The state is fixed, rigid, and there are very few combinations or patterns.
Because of this, it is very easy for the security guards to monitor everyone.
Exactly. They know exactly where every single person is located. But then, the gates open.
The text literally describes it as the fans flooding or avalanching in. They scatter to the merchandise tables, the concession stands, the front row, the bathrooms.
Suddenly you have a high entropy, free state with astronomically high patterns and combinations.
The security guards can no longer easily track where everyone is
Because the number of possible arrangements has just completely exploded.
the crucial distinction the text makes here directly relates to the guilt we talked about earlier. Oh, this is my absolute favorite part.
It's so validating.
It really is. The text emphasizes that the concert goers didn't scatter because they are bad fans.
Right.
They didn't flood the stadium out of malice or an inherent desire to ruin the security guard's day. They scattered because they were given the freedom to move.
That's the mechanism. When you introduce the freedom to move, a system will naturally transition to the state with the highest probability.
Which is the scattered, dispersed state.
So when we apply that back to the physical objects in your daily life.
Your messy room isn't a moral failing, it is a byproduct of freedom.
Absolutely.
The objects in your life, your clothes, your books, your coffee mugs, they have the freedom to be moved around. And because they have that freedom, they naturally migrate toward the state of highest probability over time.
The mess isn't a sign that you are lazy. It is literally a sign that your room is participating in the fundamental mechanics of the cosmos.
To drive the visual home, the source contrasts two very different types of movement. Think of a battalion of marching soldiers.
They are rigid, their steps are synchronized, their positioning is strictly enforced.
This is a low entropy state because the number of possible combinations, the cases of how they can be arranged is incredibly low.
There's essentially only one acceptable pattern, the perfect formation.
Right. Now contrast that with the passengers crammed onto a crowded commuter train during rush hour.
Oh man, just a sea of elbows and briefcases and people shifting their weight.
It is a highly free state. People are moving past each other to get to the doors, adjusting their bags, looking at their phones.
The number of combinations, the way those individual people can be arranged inside that train car is astronomically high.
It is a state of incredibly high entropy.
And the universe, fundamentally, always favors the crowded train over the marching soldiers. It always favors the highest number of combinations.
Wait, okay. If my room naturally goes from one tidy state to millions of messy ones, why can't it just accidentally reverse? Like, why doesn't it ever just spontaneously fall back into a tidy one pattern? I leave my room messy all the time. By the laws of probability, shouldn't the shirts just occasionally land perfectly folded in the drawer?
That brings us to one of the most ruthless, unbreakable rules in all of physics, the second law of thermodynamics. The second law states that the entropy of an isolated universe must always move toward the state of highest probability.
So it's a one-way street.
Yes, this irreversible slide into higher combinations is known in physics as the arrow of time.
Hold on, you said isolated universe. What does that actually mean? Does that mean no energy from the outside is coming in to fix things?
Precisely. An isolated system has no external interference. If you leave a room alone, with no human entering to spend physical energy cleaning it, the room is isolated.
And in that isolation, it will only ever degrade into higher probability. It will only get messier. Here's where it gets really interesting, because the source uses some beautifully tangible examples of this irreversibility. We've all experienced the arrow of time, even if we didn't know the name for it.
We see it every day.
Yeah, if you drop a glass cup on a tile floor, it shatters into 100 pieces. You could sit there staring at those shards for a trillion years, and they will never, ever spontaneously fuse back together and jump back into your hand. Or if you build a beautiful, intricate sandcastle on the beach and it collapses, that pile of sand is never going to spontaneously rise back up and form a perfect pyramid.
And we return to the underlying mechanism, probability.
I love the humorous language the text uses here. It points out that the cup and the sand aren't going through a rebellious phase.
Right, they aren't stubbornly refusing to go back to how they were.
It's just math. Imagine rolling 1 billion dice all at once, getting all 6s on every single die. That is your perfectly intact glass cup.
Is the miracle one pattern.
Exactly. Rolling literally anything else, a mix of 3s and 4s and 2s and 1s, that is your shattered cup.
The universe is essentially just rolling the dice every single second, and broken is mathematically guaranteed.
The probability of those 1 billion dice spontaneously landing on all 6s again is so close to 0 that it is physically impossible.
The arrow of time dictates that we move from the highly unlikely intact state to the highly probable shattered state. We can never run the film backward.
Okay, I follow the logic on the messy rooms and the dice. But if you're listening to this and thinking, great, so I have a physics excuse never to clean my kitchen again, we probably need to clarify something.
We should probably do that, yes.
If entropy is just about the probability of spatial combinations, like how objects are arranged, Why is the word thermo, which means heat, in thermodynamics?
That is the big question.
How do we actually connect this abstract math about rolling dice to physical, tangible energy?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we arrive at the ultimate revelation of the source text. It is the bridge between the conceptual and the physical.
Okay.
And it all hinges on understanding that heat is not just a temperature reading on a thermometer. Heat is the most disorganized, chaotic form of energy that exists in the universe.
Wait, how exactly does energy become organized or disorganized?
Well, think about the states we discussed earlier. The single file line of concert fans versus the flood of the crowd. Energy exists in states just like that.
Oh, I see.
Low entropy energy is highly organized. For instance, think about the electricity stored inside a lithium-ion battery, or the potential energy of a heavy bowling ball that you have lifted high up in the air.
Okay, let me translate that. The electricity in the battery is organized because all those electrons are queued up, ready to flow in a specific, unified direction the second you turn the device on.
Exactly.
And the bowling ball has a fixed, purposeful direction. If I let go, it is going to fall straight down. They are like the marching soldiers. The energy is focused.
That is organized energy capable of doing what physicists call work. But then we have high entropy energy, the disorganized, scattered energy.
And the ultimate form of scattered energy is heat.
Yes. Think about the heat generated by the friction of a car's tires against the asphalt, or the hot exhaust gas billowing out of the tailpipe.
That energy doesn't have a unified direction. It is just microscopic particles vibrating and bouncing off each other in total random chaos.
It's the crowded train car of energy.
Because of the second law of thermodynamics, because of that ruthless arrow of time, the universe demands that organized, low-entropy energy must constantly degrade into disorganized, high-entropy heat.
When that energy scatters as heat, you can't gather it all back up. It vanishes into the cosmos.
You cannot take the friction heat from your tires and turn it back into useful electricity in your battery.
Just like you can't unshatter the glass.
Wait, I always struggle with this part. Why can't we just build a perfect engine? We trap heat all the time. Yeah, I mean, power plants burn coal to make heat, which boils water, which creates steam to spin turbines and make electricity. So why can't I just design a brilliant device that captures the friction heat off my car tires or the heat from my laptop and feeds it right back into the battery?
It sounds like a perfect loophole, doesn't it?
Oh.
But here's where the universe collects its tax. Think back to our concert analogy. The fans have scattered all over the stadium. Could the security guards force them all back into a single file line?
I mean, eventually. But they would have to run all over the stadium, yelling, grabbing people, sweating.
They would expend a massive amount of effort.
Yeah, it would be exhausting.
Exactly. They would have to perform a massive amount of work. In physics, to force a scattered system back into an organized system requires energy.
Oh, I see where this is going.
If you want to trap the chaotic, vibrating heat from your car tires and organize it back into a neat flow of electrons for a battery, the machine doing the trapping requires energy to run.
And that machine will generate its own heat while it works.
You got it.
Ah. So I end up spending more energy trying to organize the chaos than I actually get back from it.
The universe always takes a cut. Even in your power plant example, yes, we use heat to boil water for steam turbines. But a huge percentage of the heat from that burning coal escapes up the smokestacks or radiates out of the metal pipes.
We can never capture 100% of it.
The arrow of time ensures that in every transaction, some organized energy degrades into useless, scattered heat forever.
Which completely reframes a concept we hear about every single day. We talk constantly about energy efficiency or saving energy. But if energy can't actually be destroyed, we aren't saving anything, are we?
Not really, no.
We are just desperately fighting a losing battle against the universe.
We are trying to hoard convenient, organized energy. We're trying to slow down the inevitable process of that useful electricity degrading into useless, scattered heat.
Wow.
Every time you turn on a light bulb, or drive a car, or even just metabolize your breakfast, you are witnessing the degradation of a beautifully ordered, mathematical, puzzle-organized energy smashing into billions of useless vibrating heat pieces forever.
So energy efficiency is not about saving energy.
No, it is simply our attempt to tap the brakes on the fundamental decay of the cosmos, delaying its inevitable slide into chaos.
So what does this all mean? We started this deep dive staring at a disastrously messy room, feeling guilty.
And we've traveled pretty far from there.
We really have. From the room to the concert gates, to rolling a billion dice, all the way to the degradation of energy itself. Let's recap what we've discovered from the text.
Let's do it.
First, entropy is not just a measure of messiness, it is a measure of probability and the number of possible combinations.
Correct.
Second, a tidy, organized state is a mathematical anomaly, a miracle one pattern.
And third, the universe naturally, inevitably favors the scattered chaos of high probability, which ultimately manifests as the irreversible degradation of energy into disorganized, chaotic heat.
It is the inescapable rule of the reality we inhabit, which means I can finally offer you the peace of mind we promised at the start of this deep dive.
Finally.
The next time you walk into your bedroom and see clothes everywhere, or you look at your smartphone and the folders are a chaotic nightmare, do not let that heavy guilt sink into your chest.
Do not be hard on yourself.
Instead, I want you to take a deep breath, smile gently at the chaos, and tell yourself, right now my room is perfectly obeying the fundamental laws of the universe. The arrow of time is flowing, and entropy is increasing, just as it should.
It is a surprisingly comforting way to view the mess. But before we wrap up, this raises an important question.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
If we accept the source's premise entirely, if the universe's fundamental unbreakable rule is that absolutely everything must decay into disorganized heat and scattered chaos,
Right.
then we have to look at ourselves. We have to look at the very existence of a human being. We are highly organized, incredibly complex biological machines.
Oh, wow.
We are beings that actively clean rooms, sort smartphone folders, and build efficient batteries to harness organized energy. We are the ultimate low-entropy systems in a universe that demands high entropy.
Which means your very existence an absolute mathematical anomaly.
Exactly. Every single time you tidy your desk or fold a shirt, you aren't just doing a boring household chore. You are actively, physically rebelling against the cosmic arrow of time.
You are defying the universe's demand for chaos.
And the real question to ponder is, against the overwhelming weight of cosmic probability, how much longer can we keep up the fight against the universe?